All right, in this month's edition of Beyond the Basics, we're going to go over something that's very important, and I'm putting this out first because I think it's supremo important, okay? We're going to talk about creativity. Before we go into, what equipment you need to get good pictures and what settings you need to be on and all that stuff, we're going to go over just the general idea of creativity. Now, I know you might be thinking, I know what creativity is, or why should I listen to you about what creativity is? And I don't know why you should, but, maybe you might try it. So I have this idea of being creative and staying creative and staying inspired, and it's hard to say what creativity is, and it's hard for me to tell you what your creativity is, or you to tell anyone what their creativity is. And that's the thing. Creativity is so abstract, and your idea of what's nice and what's good, that all comes from your creativity. Your idea of what looks good in pictures, it's always right. If you think it looks good, it looks good. No one can tell you you have to stay within these rules to be a good picture. So creativity is just being able to break down the walls and to do things, just have an open mind and just see the world around you in your own way, and show people it through your camera your own way. Don't let anyone tell you your pictures are bad. If you could let people tell you your pictures are good, but don't search so much for other people's approval. Look for your own approval. Look for your own, try to satisfy your own creativity before you try and satisfy everyone else's, because you're not ever going to satisfy everyone else's creativity, or you're not going to satisfy everyone else's idea of what is good, and if you try that, it inhibits your creativity, and it'll put you in a box as to what looks good, and how you should shoot, and what's this, and before you know it, you're taking all these little pictures, and they please the person who taught you. I don't ever want you guys to look at me and think that my opinion is the last opinion you need to do, or any teacher for that matter, or any person for that matter, that their opinion is the one that matters the most. I believe that your opinion is the one that matters the most. If you decide that that's a good looking picture, then it is. If you decide that that's the perfect way to take that picture, then it was. It's the right angle, the right exposure, the right settings, everything. If you like it, no one can tell you that that picture is better, that they could do the picture better, because you know why they can't? Because they weren't there, because they are not you. And you are the one who's going to decide what looks good, what looks great. Now, what you need to learn, how to use your camera, you need to learn all the intricacies of how to use your camera so that your creativity can flow freely without being inhibited, without being stopped by, uh-oh, is my setting right? Or, it's not right, and I don't know how to change it. I don't know what to do to get it to be right. I want the picture to look like this, but I can't get it to look like that. That's why we need to, you need to really focus your attention first on, how you use your camera, what the settings do, what the dials do, what everything does in your camera, so that when it does come time, when you do see this beautiful picture in your head and you want to take a picture, your camera is just an extension of you, and you're just moving, and you're just getting it perfect, what you need to do, when you need to do it to get that perfect picture. There's another concept in creativity that I like to try and practice, and that's it's kind of odd, but it's getting out of yourself and basically kind of removing yourself from the picture. I know you're not in the picture, you're holding the camera, whatever, but I mean removing, like getting out of yourself and doing things that are out of the ordinary even for you. You're experimenting with pictures, in taking pictures of things that you normally wouldn't take pictures of, or from different angles that you normally wouldn't take pictures of. Lay on the floor, get out of your out of the things that are inhibiting you to go stand on something, or go lay on the floor, or to take pictures from different angles, or to ask someone to take a picture of these different views. Just get out of yourself. Get out of yourself. Do things that you normally wouldn't do to get these pictures. Even if it's being in places that you normally wouldn't go. Sometimes maybe you're not the kind of person that's ever been to a museum, and you can go to the museum and try and take some pictures there. Sometimes they won't let you. At a museum they'll tell you no flash photography, but they don't realize that a good photographer can still get pictures at a museum. With you just know the concepts of how to get pictures and the lighting they have. So you can still get great pictures at the museum even though there's no flash photography. But see, that's like you put yourself in situations and you figure it out when you're there. And then that's how you get better. That's how you start adding to your repertoire of what you know how to do, so that when the situation comes and you happen to bump into that situation again, whether it's in a paid job, or whether in a paid job or just out on the streets, you'll know how to get a picture, and you'll start seeing them as pictures instead of just as, ooh, that would be cool. I have my camera and that would be cool, but I don't know what to do. So if you just get out of yourself and get out of your comfort zone, or get out of your little ball that you walk around the world in, your little hamster ball of safety, if you just get out of that and you know, and just take pictures from different places that you wouldn't, and different times that you wouldn't, and just be out of yourself, and almost like just a free spirit in the world, and you're taking pictures with your little spirit camera. But whatever you're doing, you know, just make sure that you know, you're not letting yourself inhibit yourself. You know, get out of that, get out of yourself, and take pictures, you know, from just a free place in the world, and you know, you'll start seeing your photography expand, your vision expand. So, you know, it's just how you do things. Another really cool thing about, you know, to do, you know, to try and build your creative muscles, you know, to try and you know, get more creative, or just, you know, to exercise your creativity is, you know, if you see a picture you like, try and reproduce it. You know, if you see it and you see that there's lighting, you know, sometimes there's even books where they'll tell you exactly what lighting they used and what they do. And it's one thing to sit and read it and see the little, you know, hey, this light was here and this person was here, and, you know, the light had a softbox and all that stuff. It's another thing to do it. It's another thing to do it and take a picture and feel the rush that you get from creating it, and feel, you know, the satisfaction that you get from actually making it, instead of just seeing and saying, oh, I know how to do it. You know, there's a difference between knowing something and experiencing something. You know, so you could look at it in a book and say you know it, or you can do it and say you've done it. And there's a huge difference in doing it and knowing it and reading it. You know, so if you see something that you like and you know how to reproduce it, reproduce it. If it doesn't say how to reproduce it, try it. Do your best and try to reproduce it. If you see an image that you like, try and reproduce it. If you see an image in your dream, if you see something in your dreams and you're like, oh, that's an amazing image, when you wake up, take mental note of it, draw a picture of it, find some way to remember it so later you can take a picture of it and find it, create a picture. You know, taking pictures a lot of times isn't just taking pictures here and there. It's creating pictures. It's creativity. You're creating images. So a lot of times, you know, even if the image doesn't look like it was creative, a lot of times they're created images. So, and you can do that too. You know, it's not just, hey, boom, 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 I'm taking pictures, boom, boom, taking pictures. It's, I'm creating pictures, I'm creating them, I'm moving the lights around, I'm moving people, I'm moving objects, I'm getting things in the right spot, and then I'm creating the picture, and I'm photographing it. You're not just taking a picture, you're creating a photograph. So, you know, there's a big step from just being someone with a camera to being a photographer, and a big part of that is being creative and knowing that you're creating the images that you're getting. You're not just taking pictures, you're creating pictures. So, you know, when you get that in your head and you start moving forward with that, you're going to a new level. You know, you're leveling up, you're bumping up. You know, I'm a big video game player, and I love, you know, like whenever I get new equipment, I feel like I'm gearing up. You know, like in the video games, I go dun 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 dun, like Zelda. You know, I love it. So, you know, you can gear up as far as gear goes, and you can gear up in your creativity, and you can gear up in your courage and your ability to take pictures. And, you know, and when you become creative, and when you realize the importance of creating pictures and being a creative photographer and creating things, you've bumped up, and you just geared up. It's something that's going to click in your head, and you're going to have it forever, that you know that you create photographs, you create images. You don't just take pictures. So, you know, I hope you learned something today, or I hope I opened up a door in your mind that, you know, will take you into a whole new realm of photography. And if I didn't, then maybe watch it again. But, or, you know, whatever's clever. But, you know, I hope you had a good time, you enjoyed yourself. I'll see you next month with this series, and I'll see you next week with a different. So take care and be good. Peace.